useful things on AI over here to talk about that kind of stuff. But what do we need to know about large language models? Why are they different? How do they work? And why is that?
What's a large language model?
That's a great question. What is a large language model? Every AI that we think of when we quickly think of AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc., Claude, are all large language models. And what that means is they took basically the entire internet and read the entire internet. And when they read the entire internet, they developed algorithms that said if someone is talking about the weather and they say cumulus, the next word should be clouds. And so in reading all of this stuff over and over and over again, and they call it training the AI, it learned all of these words and then essentially predicts the next word based on the previous word, based on the previous word, based on the previous word, based on the context of where we start. So that's why you have to build giant data centers that suck up all the world's water. AI. In a nutshell. Large language model, are you in?
Yeah.
She's good with large language model. Perfect. Have to do that one. So, what are we going to talk about today? Welcome and mind shift. 7 myths, 2 buckets, large language models, personalizing your AI assistant, perfecting your prompts, putting it in action, compliance tips, and next steps. Wow! How fun is that? Welcome and shift. Wow! How fun is that? Welcome! Shift your mind. Again,
Mindset shifted.
didn't know about that. But I was actually talking to Jenny earlier today, and we were having this conversation. I remember a time, and I think everybody here except for Krista, maybe, remembers a time when they had to go to school, and they had to write on lined loose leaf paper, and you had to skip a line every time, and your paper would be downgraded, and I say downgraded, marked against it, because Sarah was mean like that. You would get marked off for grammar. You get marked off for spelling, you get marked off for punctuation, and depending on where you were in your schooling process, handwriting even. That was, I mean, just bam, bam, bam. Now I'm writing a paper on Waterloo, but what's important is my handwriting. Now, okay, I get it, that's the point, that's the plan, that's what school is about. But someday, somebody came up with this crazy idea, you need to turn all your papers in on a typewriter. You have to typewrite. And then you have to learn to type. So you're sitting there all night like an idiot with that little machine. It's manual, bam, 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 typing. And that was fine, but I still got marked off for punctuation, spelling, and grammar. Then suddenly these computers came along and said, all right, we want them all printed. So then you had to peel off those little things on the side. It's crazy. But I still get marked off for spelling, grammar, punctuation. And then they said, you know, there's a spell check built into the word processor, so you need to use that. Now, I still get marked off for grammar and punctuation, but the spelling was good. Finally, they came out with Grammarly and built that into there, and then other things came in and the word, and all of a sudden now, you type something and you don't get marked off for any of those, and nobody thinks that's crazy. And yet right now, we're still in that place where you go, well, is it cheating to use AI? Was it cheating when I first typed that first paper and didn't get marked off for handwriting anymore? Was that cheating? Was it cheating when the spell check started correcting my spelling so I was clear about what I wanted to say? Was it cheating when it started correcting my grammar? Was it cheating when that first guy with the pocket protector showed up with the slide rule in math class and said, I can do these calculations without doing the math on the paper? Was that cheating? Well, in some contexts it is, and in some contexts it's expected. If I turn in a paper in a high school right now, and I don't print it, use spell check and grammar check, I'm like a pariah.
To be fair, you're not printing it anymore.
But yeah, it's PDF, right? I'm just sending it. That's even worse, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So all those things are true, but if I use it to provide my idea, now that's the problem. Well, wasn't my idea the way the word is spelled is waterlemon, not watermelon? That was my idea. Why did that that subtle change be acceptable when this wouldn't be? Well, how much? What's the percentage? Exactly. It's a great question. We don't really know, but I will promise you this. Very soon, this will be the expectation. We know that both students and professors in colleges are lobbing grenades at each other over, I write my entire syllabus using ChatGPT. Well, why can't I use it to write the entire paper? These are reasonable questions. Somebody else is going to figure this out. But here's the deal. I don't get paid on those questions. I get paid on whether I can effectively communicate with my clients or not. And if I use somebody as an example, not anyone specifically, but if there's a person out there right now who had difficulty elevating their language for clarity, would this be a benefit for them? That they could effectively communicate with people when in the past written words have always been challenging for them? That'd be delightful. Why wouldn't we want that? Why wouldn't our clients expect it? So, we talk about mind shift. We need to shift our minds. This is not the enemy. This is a tool that is already in existence that people are using, will continue to use, and if you don't learn to use it, you are behind the curve. It's okay. Lots of people are behind the curve. Some people don't ever make calls to generate leads. Some people do. And the people who generate leads on phone calls have an extra slice of business, but the ones who don't. Your choice. So, myths of AI in real estate. Talked about this a little bit yesterday in the team meeting, but human-like understanding. They're not people. They're not people in there. They have pattern-based responses, which is why your question about what a large language model was so important, right? Again, if it sees the word and it's talking about weather, if it sees the word cumulus, it predicts the next word should be clouds. That would make sense to a computer. Cumulus clouds, right? That's what weather means. So it doesn't understand what a cumulus cloud is. It just knows that the word that follows cumulus should be clouds. That's the difference with a pattern-based response versus a human understanding. They are not always accurate. If you've ever run something through ChatGPT, especially chat back when it was Chat 1 or Chat 2 or even Chat 3, you would get a very high potential for errors.
What is it now?
We're on to ChatGPT 5, just launched about a week ago. And they continue to do a better job of being able to predict what should be next based on what comes before it and make less errors, but they still make errors. So you just check it. You've got to check it. Do you need to be a tech expert? For the love of man, you do not. In fact, this is your best answer to not being a tech expert. The fact that you're not a tech expert using AI is actually the best thing you can be. Because the more technical you are, the more challenging it is. On the other side, I will say that if you ever have trouble with your computers, this is going to put tech support people out of business in the short term if anybody can read. Because literally, Karina was having trouble with her third monitor. I looked at it and I went, okay, we'll try unplugging stuff, which is usually where I start, and turning it off and on again, and it didn't work. And then I plugged all the information from all the little windows that it told me to plug into the chat. And I kept plugging stuff in, and it goes, here's your problem. And I went, oh, there we go. Just kept plugging it in. Whatever it asks for, I just give it. Robotic content. Yeah, there are some words that it loves to use over and over and over
So
again.
do realtors. It's charming. It's quaint.
Delightful. Have you ever heard me say delightful? It's reflective of the input that you put in. If you ask it to speak in a different way, it will absolutely do that on your behalf. And later, when I put it in pirate talk, or ask it to be first mate chat beer, it will absolutely be reflective of that input. It's not a search engine. You can use it that way. When I say it's not a search engine, it's not just like Google. Like, hey, what's the temperature of the sun? You can put that in there and it'll come back with an answer about what the temperature of the sun is. And if you really want to know more about it, you can ask more about it and it'll keep giving you this information, which is great and reasonably why we think about all that other stuff like, will this replace teachers? I don't know. I don't know. But I can absolutely find out all about that stuff. But what it really is a series of versatile applications. So if I really wanted to know about the temperature of the sun, I could really ask it more sophisticated questions like, how do we know what the temperature of the sun is? How does that figure? What are the different types of things? We can get a full education. Teach me all you know about the temperature of the sun. And teach me over a 10-day period for an hour, give me a 1-hour lesson, 10 days, and build that out. It will literally build out all of that stuff, which is super neat. That's an example of an application. Another one, and if you were here last time when Gene talked about this, an example is you can ask it, one of the first things I did when I did my first demo was I made a song about Scott Naz. I just said, write a song about Scott Naz, commercial realtor. And it went through and did all that. Well, what Gene showed is now with something like Soar Up. You can take the lyrics that you've written, it will provide music for you. It will literally make music based on those lyrics. An example of versatile applications. And there are a number of applications that are being built to do that. Videos, pictures, things like that. If you go into Canva, there's all kinds of AI stuff that are in there that are built in. If you use Loom like I do to make videos, it will summarize the video, title the video for me, have all the information beside it for you. There are so many things that it can do, but it does all this through this prediction method, right? This large language model. What is the next word reasonably going to be? Sometimes it reads the stuff and anticipates, but it's just a giant math problem, which is kind of scary. So we talked about relationships in our business. I don't think it replaces anything. It just enhances them. If I'm a terrible or have difficulty communicating with people using the written word, this is going to help with that. If I want to do a video and I'm unsure of what I should say in my video, I can ask it, how would I write a script as I walk through this house? What would the script for showing a house look like if I was going to post it in a 1-minute reel on Instagram today? And if I get more sophisticated and say, using advice from top realtors across the country who have generated the most amount of hits on Instagram for their videos, what would I say about this house and how would I present that information? And it will take that in and go, here's a script for you. And it'll give you timestamps. You should do this for first 15 seconds, first 20 seconds, it should take 30 seconds, and then you go. And again, you have myth, I have ample time to adopt this. It grows so fast. I spend a lot of time on AI, personally. I'm probably not in the top 10% of people who spend time in AI, but I spend a lot of time, far more than I would guess most people in the room. And I cannot keep up. I cannot keep up with all of the changes. I have to have things help me with the changes. What change? I have newsletters that I get every day. What do I need to be aware of that's changing, just so I can keep up with that? So, what does that mean for me, or a person who's just starting? How to get started. The longer you wait to get started, the more stuff you're going to have to learn to be even. You are swimming against a tide. The good news is, the best resource for swimming against that tide is the tide. You just have to change your direction and use it to help you through that process. I use AI to help me learn AI all the time. What do I need to know that's changed in the last month that I need to be focused on as a realtor, as an example?
Jason, you have a message in the chat.
Who else chat messages?
It's ChatGPT and Verdian.
Good. Oh. Yeah, maybe. Those fancy stuff.
That Monique, she's so needy.
She is a little. Here, Monique, how do you think of that?
That's great, thank you.
So needy.
There. Monique, I
Thank
moved too
you.
much. Now I'm over here. I'm gonna be back over there in just a minute.
Hi. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, I'm looking at the chairs and I don't know what he's, oh, okay. So I'm following along, but I thought, oh, it'd be kind of nice to see your face too.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep moving. So, good luck.
That's fine.
You know what he looks like.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe. All right. So for a realtor, the two buckets of stuff that AI can do for you. Number one, generate leads. Okay, I can use AI to help me generate leads, and I can use it to help me get stuff done. Sarah might call this working on your business or working in your business, right? Those are two things, right? Pow! Other people might use the same terms, but that's what we can use AI for. It's It's wonderful. That's a very neat slide, very exciting. Again,
Easy.
I pulled this thing up yesterday and this is where we're going today. Yeah. Large language models. So, large language models again have trained on the internet as a whole, human behavior, things like that. Over and over again, reading it over and over again, so it understands what should come next based on all the other sources it has of things. So when I use that example about, if I'm asking questions about the weather, and the word it has is clouds or cumulus, it knows that the next thing should be clouds because that describes cumulus. It uses that process all the way through to figure out the next thing. So right now, large language models are the first iteration that we're using for AI. But there are other things out there right now that are working in that same context. So for example, I was talking with a friend the other day about Tesla. Tesla right now has screens and information, and it collects data every time Tesla drivers drive. All the cameras, all the things, it's collecting all of that information. Tesla is accumulating all of that information. It can take all of that information, put it together, and have computers read the information over and over and over again so it can start to learn and predict how people drive based on what they actually do. Not what we'd like them to do, not what we think they do or think they should do, but what they actually do. So when people are at this thing and the sign says, and the light comes on green and they turn to the right because the arrow points to the right, that's the logical thing. And they start to predict that. And they go, okay, the green light comes on, we should all move because that's what happens when the green light comes on. It learns like that. And so that's a huge part of how AI currently works. It is not a free thinking thing. So if you were to go into Keller Williams IQ, which is in command, you would know, or you would know, well, you'd be, what they trained that on is like MREA, Shift, One Thing, books like that. So when you ask it a question, that's its knowledge base. It works from that place versus the internet as a whole. So it has a very specific set of messages that it understands and can communicate in a very different way than maybe the internet as a whole. You can't ask KWIQ what's going on in Lakeville today. It has no idea. It's not trained that way. But it does understand those sorts of things really well. So one of the things that people, or what we recommend, is really pick a brand. At the end of the day, some brands are better for some things, some brands are better for other things. And we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But picking a brand and kind of sticking with it, right? Because when you start using the system on a regular basis, it gets to know you. Just like it uses all these things to learn the internet, all of your questions, all of the ways you ask questions, it starts to learn your patterns, your behavior, what you choose to ask it. So if you keep asking it to shorten things, over time, it's going to learn you want short answers. If you keep asking it to elaborate on things, it's going to learn you want big answers. You might have to change someday in the future when you want a shorter answer or a bigger answer. But for the most part, it's going to learn your habits, and it's going to dictate that kind of thing. Personalize your AI assistant with a master prompt. There are prompts you can use to help it learn who you want it to be and how you want it to act going forward in a general sense. We'll talk a little bit about that. I think learning to perfect your prompts and putting your prompts into action are critical parts of this process. So, large language models, complex code strands are trained on massive amounts of textbook, websites, articles, and other materials in terms of how we use in language. So, I give it a prompt, it goes out, does all the thinking, and provides things based on what I've asked, based on what it has seen as responses to that question overall on how language works. Typical, and these are some very common and popular large language model uses right now: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, and Grok. You may have even heard about Grok, right, recently, because they've gotten Grok to say really crazy things. And that's one of the things, especially early in an AI, depending on what you've trained it on, it can pull really strange information. But ChatGPT is generally considered the jack of all trades. It's very good at most things, not an expert in all things. Gemini does a really good job because in that it is developed by Google, so it uses a lot of Google resources. It really integrates very well with Word and Excel and can really work in the, or I shouldn't say Excel or Word for that matter, but docs and sheets to help develop things specifically in those contexts. So as we've done before in different demonstrations here, I can have Gemini read my Gmail account, all of my emails, summarize them, and just tell me what I need to do today, right? And then delete them all. Claude is really good if you're a coder. If you're gonna write programs, that's a great place to go. I have never used Perplexity, but if you are writing science papers and things like that, Perplexity is designed to cite the sources a lot more readily. That's designed and built into the system. So that can be really helpful if you're writing things like that. And Grok is part of X, or what we used to call Twitter, but it's built into that process. So it's designed to have a little more personality, apparently, than some of the others. But if you tell your thing you want to have more personality, it'll have personality. So choose your thing. So how do we personalize these to make them work for us? Your default instructions for future interactions. You fill it out once, set expectations of your preferred writing style, tone, format, and role. With memory, AI acts like your executive assistant, never forgets key facts about you, your goals, your quirks, and past conversations so you don't repeat yourself. That seems pretty straightforward on its face. And I'm going to give an example. This is I'm going to be honest with you, I have 5 different emails and I use 5 different chats, and ChatGPT thinks I'm 5 different things. And each of those chats has a very specific purpose. In tech trainer, I'm a coach for new agents, I'm a nerd full-time, I'm also a realtor or an assistant and all those things, and a helpful person in my household. So it thinks those are all different people. Hey, I washed the sheets one time.
He washes the sheets every week. Give him some credit.
So I'm writing a prompt and I'm asking it to write a mission statement for my coaching business based on who I am and what it's learned about me. This is specific and unique to me and this conversation.
Hey Jason, this is Mo. Could you maybe pan over to that screen? I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't know if I
Weird.
can.
Oh, okay, I just can't see what you're doing.
No,
So
I
I'm
do it.
assuming
I don't
you're
know if
typing in GPT, right?
I understand your question. I don't know if I can.
She's asking if you're right now typing in ChatGPT.
Yes, I already did. Just did a
Oh.
quick prompt in there.
Okay.
On a second screen. So my mission is to empower real estate to grow a thriving, sustainable business by blending practical tools, proven strategies, and a spirit of community with a focus on technology, innovation, and authentic relationships. I guide agents to build confidence, sharpen their skills, and serve clients at the highest level. I believe that real estate is more than transactions, about creating opportunities for families, building wealth across generations, enjoying the adventure along the way. Through encouragement, humor, and accountability, I help agents unlock their potential and chart a clear course to success. All right, so what are the keys? How do we know that this is personalized to me? Because that could apply to a lot of people, right? Well, the first word that comes in there that I think that immediately attaches to me is adventure, right? And charting a clear course to success, right? It knows that I am a pirate. It knows that I enjoy piracy, and I ask it to do pirate things, and it literally puts those things in there to appeal to that part. It knows that I talk way more about creating opportunities for families and building wealth. When I'm talking to agents, that's what I talk about. When I go in there and ask it to refine things, those are the things I ask it to do, because I'm not big on the transactions. I'm not big on the details, right? Some people are great at that. It knows that I'm going to focus on technology and innovation because that's what I ask it to do all the time, right? To focus on the technical aspects of this because I'm a systems guy. So it starts to integrate all that stuff and put all that together. And this is what it means when we talk about how does it personalize to me. Now I can get more feisty about this and have it do more work for me and make it more personalized, which is really crazy. But at the end of the day, Mo, I just have you know that you can put anything into ChatGPT and ask it to personalize it to you based on what it knows about you and your interactions. And it will develop based on that.
Hey, question, Jason.
Yeah.
Is there, so like you've got your Chat GPT and it's learning about you and all that kind of stuff. Does it like eavesdrop on other things you're doing on your computer?
No.
Are you
That's
sure?
what they tell you anyway, right?
That's what they tell you. I don't believe that it does. But I do use it and upload enough stuff in there that it's pretty close. The only thing I haven't loaded in there recently, and I actually downloaded today so I could, but like some of my personality assessments, I'm gonna load that up there and let it really rip and see what happens. But those are super exciting things to do. But this is an example of some very clear words that it understands if you want to use particular sets of language. So if you want to identify your preferred communication style, these are words that would make sense to it to use. There are other ones. Again, I often ask it to write in the voice of a pirate or Edgar Allan Poe. I've asked it to write in the voice of Shakespeare before. And it does an incredible job bringing out those things. But if you have other things, I'd like this to be a little bit more curious. I got an email from somebody. I kept emailing back and forth. They were a potential candidate for becoming a new agent. And I was getting a little tired of them because they kept asking the same question over and over again. And I couldn't seem to make sense that these are your two options. You have option A or option B. I was feeling a little terse. And I actually said, write a little more tersely. And it came back and it was still professional, but very clear that you have option A or option B. And you need to choose one of those two. I'm not going with option 3.
I'd like to see a description for a home written in a skeptical manner.
Ask and you shall
Yeah, I guess so.
receive.
Just gonna say
that. Does that work at home?
What's that?
Does that work at home?
Yeah. Boy, I wish my car had gas.
I know. Those dishes really wish.
Let's see what it says. Oh, I just put that into the chat there, and I just literally said, make a skeptical listing description for my address. It says, sure, it's move-in ready, but let's be honest, you probably still find yourself at Home Depot within the first week, right? I mean, that's perfect, right? This 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, it remembers, because originally it was listed as 4. We have a 5th bedroom, maybe it's conforming, maybe it's not, I don't know, I'm not into all that stuff, but anyway, and it has plenty of space. To be fair, it does have a finished basement that could work as a family room, game room, or maybe just a place to hide from the in-laws, which I will admit has happened in that house. The kitchen boasts stainless steel appliances, lies, but they're shiny.
It's got 2 stainless steel,
Okay,
dishwasher,
fair enough.
microwave.
The
We're
cellar
getting there.
in the backyard is perfect for entertaining, which is realtor speak for big enough for a grill and a couple of lawn chairs. But it backs up to the green space, at least when we're starting the nearest kitchen window, right? It will do stuff like that. And if you're familiar with it, there is a person on Instagram who does very much does their home presentations in a style similar to this. And there are actually probably a few of them out there. But you can get it in the style that you want. Skeptical.
That's funny.
Personal insights. These are information that you can provide it that will help. I like off-limits topics. Do not talk to me about, I don't want to hear about politics. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to be involved in that nonsense. So you can literally say, I'm not in there. Here are my health goals. Here are personal goals. My favorite movies, my favorite travel places, things, my core value beliefs. It's a great way to organize your thoughts when you're communicating with it and say, this is what I want. Because when you start thinking of AI as your personal assistant, it can personally assist you. If it doesn't know you, it's not going to give you good advice. Now, you may be asking yourself, do I really want it to know me? Well, I can't answer that for you. But I promise, in the very near future, many people will have already done this. And they will already be using this, and Either they're the first to go or they're the last to live. I don't know which, but
So I know very little about any of this, but that creating an account helps it get to know you.
Yep.
And then there's the paying for an account.
Mhm.
Like where is that line? How, this stuff is the paid account? Oh, okay,
we are currently using Jason Darvinson free.
okay.
So it can learn a lot about you without having to
Without-
pay for it.
okay.
On the other side, it's pretty cheap, unless you go to a professional.
Are you suggesting that you could just go, like, literally,
Fill
right
that out.
now, when we're done, just go type in all of these things and say, just remember all of this about me for all my future chats?
Yes.
There's not like a special profile.
There is
That's
a
what I was-
prompt
yeah.
that we can get to that'll work on that, but yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Each of them are a little different. One of the things that's is excited about Gemini, because they launched a new thing that actually in Gemini, there's an actual, in the old terms, we call it maybe a widget or a place to actually input all of that stuff, which is new for them. It's a new feature. Custom business interactions, again, same kind of thing. These are the things that are important to me in my business. I can input all of that stuff so it understands what my goals are, short-term goals, long-term goals, medium-term goals, key business metrics, stuff like that, which makes sense. Jenny?
I have a funny, I realized that I was being way too polite, I'm like, please
I always do
write,
that too.
I always
thank
say
you so much, and it started responding to me like that, and I'm like, it's not real, it's a robot.
Yeah, I do that too, and I feel like my punctuation has to be right, and I know it doesn't, it's just how I am.
But, yeah, it was hilarious, I'm like, will you please write a great description
It's like,
about
would you like me to give you five prompts for your video? And I was like, yes, please.
Thank you so much.
I tell them it's awesome all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks, you're awesome.
Hey,
Yeah.
when it takes over, I want it to remember me as the nice human.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I will say for
With
the
manners.
record, I don't ever correct spelling stuff. I just let it go.
Mhm.
If I misspell it, I use bad grammar, punctuation, whatever, throw it in there. But, as an example, again, having worked some training, what are key metrics that I should be using in my coaching, right? And Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, as a previous coach. Attendance and participation rate, would that be a useful thing to know about your people?
Yeah.
Homework, task completion rate, are they doing what they're assigned to do? Goal setting and tracking. Daily and weekly contacts made, number of open houses hosted and attended, sphere touches logged, appointments set. Now, Krista may know this, she may not, but we talk about this all the time. The two main things that I focus on for lead generation, Krista, are?
It is, let's see, the number of open houses you host and,
Sphere.
your sphere, yeah.
So it literally pulled from what I've asked it and talked to it and asked it before. It knows that those are the two things that I think are gonna drive their business most likely to success in the early portions of their business. So you should touch those things. You should look at them. It knows this based on our interactions. And obviously appointment set, right? Because all that's what the whole point of it is. Production results, contracts, listings, closings, volume. Who knew? Mama knew, and ChatGPT knew. So how do I make good prompts, right? At the end of the day, those are really basic prompts. How do I make better prompts? The RICE system is one of the most commonly used acronyms to remember how to make a prompt. So it starts out with role. Who are you right now, Mr. Computer? So I might say acting as a top realtor, acting as a top 10% performer in the real estate business, acting as an Instagram influencer, acting as, heaven forbid, a political candidate who wants to win, right? Those are different things, but it gives it an idea of who it's acting as. What do I want you to do? Set rules and give clear directions, and use tone words to shape the response. So, what do I want you to do? I want you to write a listing description for the house at, I want it to be compliant with housing regulations in the state of Minnesota, and I would like it to be humorous, because I'm a funny guy. at any extra day that the model needs. Now, you just went to their house and they just remodeled the basement. No, it's not gonna know that. So you go, please include the fact that they recently remodeled the basement and converted their old wood-burning fireplace to a gas-burning fireplace. Or things like that. They recently renovated their kitchen and it is beautiful. Include that. Provide some sample inputs of the ideal responses. So, please, and there you go, please, thank you, ChatGPT. Please keep it in a 2-paragraph format similar to this listing presentation I did, or this listing description I did last week. And it's gonna, and it will just crunch that right out exactly as you asked it to do. But that's what RICE is about. Role, instructions, context, and examples. Go.
You just gave an example of something that's kind of been stumping me lately when you said, create it like that listing one I used last week, is I feel like I'm just like asking, I'd love to just get it to do something exactly the way it did it last time without having to scroll through like 100 chats to find. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I gotta scroll and find that listing description it gave me 2 weeks ago. I really liked that. And then I'll go into that chat and say, can you format me one exactly like this, but using this new property? And I would love for it to just know, like, this is my preferred, do you know what I'm saying? So that I don't have to.
Like a template almost.
Yeah, like, well, I mean,
Can
I
you
don't.
say, use this as my general template? Or like put an address in it and you go, oh, I want it to be the same as that address.
So,
And then
Like, can I go
say-
into that last chat and say, anytime I ask you for a listing description in the future, would you format it like this?
Please.
Please.
Just say please, you're fine.
You know?
at the edge of large language models, it will remember that for a while.
Yeah.
It will eventually forget. Now, and I say this, and this is where we would switch over to my nerd thing.
Yeah.
But I've been running a story with my nerd friends for Dungeons & Dragons for well over a year now. Yeah. And it doesn't always remember all of the early characters in the story or what their motivations or things like that were. So when I ask it to go back and include them, sometimes it's spotty on them or it doesn't remember their names. And you're like, why don't you remember that, dude? I mean, you wrote it, don't you remember? I mean, when was the last time, when the dental assistant asks you when was the last time you flossed, and you're like, you know, you were there, dude. Right? It doesn't remember. So what you can do, and you can actually, do you know you can change these? And when I say you can change them, you can go over here and rename them.
Oh, okay.
And then make it so that that one is listing description. And then you can, I mean, that's one way to help that process. But it will not remember forever. And I don't know where that threshold is, and eventually you'll get, especially in the free version,
I was gonna
you'll
say,
get
maybe
a
if we
thing that says memory full. And at that point, it can continue to operate just fine, but it's not gonna include any of anything going forward in its knowledge base because the memory is full. Now you can go back and delete things earlier, and there's actually, if you click on the memory full button, it'll take you into a option to kind of go through and tell it what to forget. But those things do exist, and they are problematic. When you're doing your prompts, these are also helpful. Checking for understanding that you gave it a prompt, and rather than have it do that, because now one of the things you can actually ask ChatGPT is to think about it harder, and it will take more time to go through its process. It's one of the options down below. But before I send you off on this adventure, make sure that, give me an example. Ask me some questions to make sure you understand what I'm asking you. Show your work and cite your sources. That's a pretty easy one. I understand what that's for. I want to understand how you did this. When I'm asking it to write an action plan, don't just write the action plan. Break it down into small chunks that I can get done in a 10-minute opportunity. Give me 3 different answers. I know I'd like to, you're gonna give me one, I wanna see more choices, because I tend to take the path least traveled. Critique your own answer. Why is that not going to work? And how can I make it better? What am I missing? What are the questions I'm not asking that I should be? I like that one a lot. And argue the opposite view, especially depending on what you're asking. Like you say, hey, what's the right price? Or is this the right price for this property based on all the information I've fed into it? What am I missing? You can ask any of these questions. Give me 3 different pricing scenarios for this property. Give me 3 different pricing scenarios. Here are my net sheet concerns. Here is a net sheet that I'm absolutely uploading with the basic fixed prices. Give me 3 different options for what that end price is going to look like based on these 3 things. So there's a lot of things you can do, and asking it to do that, to figure that out, right? Should I lower the price on this property that's been on the market for 45 days? Argue the opposite. Now I have 2 options. Prepare me a dialogue for my clients based on this option. Critique your dialogue that you've asked me, that I've just asked you to do. Critique it. Tell me what's wrong with what you just said. And then have it come out with that kind of thing. So it can do an amazing amount of work for you. Recurring tasks act like automated reminders. It's scheduled to show up at set time. They act like it's done for you. Executive assistant, find exactly what you need, we need it, and always on time. I have never done that, but I can speak to it a lot. I know it's in there, and I know most likely you'll find that in the Google one. So I'm going to do some digging on that one. Sounds interesting. Projects are folders, a small work process. Projects bundle everything related to a specific task, deal, or initiative, so nothing gets lost in your chat history, kind of like you were asking about. Projects, you use through the library process over here. And you can create different chats. You can search the chats, and that's why if you make one that's like listing descriptions, and then you just go into search and you search for the listing description chat, it'll pull it up. So, think Perplexity Voice Assistant. You can, with the paid version, you can get the ChatGPT to have a voice assistant too, but you can talk to it, and typically talking to it is helpful. The next stage for most of the AI assistants is to develop scenarios whereby they are able to go into things like this. That is where that's the next stage. So if I say, hey, I want you to research the top, or I want to head to Charleston in September, give me the best dates to go, give me 3 hotel options that are close to the beach, and find a restaurant, and I want to see something to do with pirates while I'm there. Go to town. All right, now that you've done that, I agree that that's what I want to do, book it. It's not quite here with everything, but it's very close, very close. So Perplexity, I've seen people do it on Perplexity. I'm not quite there yet, all in. But if you are, feel free.
That would make me nervous.
Exactly. AI voice apps. There are various apps out there that will read your voice for you. So you've probably even seen these. You know that when you go through Instagram or you're watching Reels or something like that, you're hearing a voice. Kelly will be really excited to hear this, but we watched this really boring show that she gets bored on about Vikings. It's a whole history of Vikings and stuff like that, and I fall asleep, and I'm still watching it, right? But it's all done in AI voice. There's an AI voice that the entire thing, documentary, is on an AI voice. And they just handed it, here you go, read this thing, it reads it out, it's properly spaced. The woman I don't even think is real that's presenting this stuff. I think she's also AI. So there's an AI woman reading a script, and it's just going through. And you can do a lot of that right now. People are doing that. If you have a book, like a PDF book, you can literally put that PDF book in there and ask it to summarize the entire book for you. I don't want to read the whole thing. Here you go. Here's MREA, read it. Summarize and read. Helping you out here. You gave great answers yesterday, so I'm trying to cheat for you. So putting into action. Prompts, marketing, client engagement. These are all things that, as an agent, I can start building right now, right? That would be useful for my business. 36 touch frameworks that convert, social content creation, message matching. When I say message matching, what are we talking about specifically? Like I was talking about with those emails I'm getting from somebody, I want to make sure that I respond in the right tone, things like that. Relocation guides, housing news. It sounds crazy, but you can absolutely just role play with it. Literally, give me a dialogue. You can respond. If you're paying for the voicing, you can respond and actually speak the words, and it's going to talk to you about that. I know a lot of people who can use some social intelligence, and that's where I go. I actually lean on it a lot for that when I want to say word this tersely, because I want to be a smart ass and say, keep doing this thing. So please just give me a better response that's not going to make somebody mad. Competitive analysis and operations analysts. Yeah, operations analysts. So clearly, either Chat didn't write this or a human did. One of the two. Chat didn't write it or one of the two. Property visualizer, condition, these are all available things. So obviously we're using AI right now in a lot of different ways, and you're starting to do virtual staging on some of your houses and things like that. We're right at the cusp of AI doing that for you, telling you exactly what you want to do. Putting in, the more information you put into it, if you upload the entire appraisal document that you get, if you get a PDF, you can literally upload it and ask for it to provide insights. What would be a good thing to do, summarize these kinds of things, and it talks about low appraisals. And you can put contracts in there and go, review this contract and ask it to find anything that I might have missed. Now, most of you are experienced enough that you're gonna figure that out. You don't necessarily need it to. But if you're new to this, or it's your first time dealing with commercial property, that might be an interesting way to have it help you out. Tax strategy optimization, mortgage mastery. These are concepts I don't know. Teach me about them. This is my current tax situation, using the current tax code, figure out a better way to do this because I know I'm missing out on options. And as many times as I've tried to find the right accountant, I can't seem to find the one that they talk about at the front of the room when they say they're saving billions of dollars on taxes, and I'm spending billions of dollars on taxes. I don't understand. There's a gap in understanding here. My accountant doesn't get it. So Chat figured it out for me. Your 411 coach. These are my priorities. These are the things I want to accomplish this week. Break some of these down for me so I know what the next thing is. If you're Krista right now and you say, my most important thing right now, because we're at the top 41, page 41, there's nothing more important than getting enough leads to drive my business. I've been told that open houses and Sphere are the best way to get them. What are my next strategy steps to generate a lead from that? What are 3 simple things I can work on this week to get better at one of those things? And it will tell you, very clear. All right, how do I get compliant? Well, you can literally ask it to follow these things. I don't know about can spam. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds terrible. Maybe we're gonna go with that for Canadians, because this just sounds like a really bad dinner. Don't upload images unless you have the copyright owner's permission. That's fair. Here's the cool thing. You don't have to upload the image. You can ask it to make the image. It will rob it from the copyright owner all by itself and provide it to you. That sounds terrible, I know. Don't create content you want to create with a copyright, because if it creates that stuff for you, that becomes available to it in the larger sense. Now, no one can go in there and say, what is Jenny Kisling's strategy for selling houses? But overall, all that stuff is in the large language model now somewhere. Protect client confidentiality. Don't put people's names in there. Do not do that. Put your own, because you want it to send the emails with your name on it. Verify AI outputs for accuracy, because they are not always right. Follow all applicable advertising laws. Keep it ethical. Keep it ethical. So what do I do? What do I do today? Pick one LLM and start using it today. Personalize your LLM with your master prompt. So when we talk about master prompts, put those things in there and say, this is how I want you to treat me, this is who I am, this are the things that are important to me. Practice with Rice and 7 hacks, and use AI for 1 real estate task this week. Those are all excellent things to do next. So I think I'm going to see if I can figure out how to. Monique, what do you see on the screen?
I see a black screen.
Oh, she got something else to do. So we're gonna go here, maybe.
I see a next steps, but it's kind of blurry. Like it has 2.
Want to see screen 3.
I don't know, anyway.
It's almost like I see 2 screens on each other.
Yeah.
Oh, and now I see command. And I see Google.
Cool. We're gonna take a ride here on the ChatGPT train. By the way, if you're interested in this particular lesson or other lessons that we have, if you are in command, you go to Connect, type in AI Playbook. You will find that information right here. Here's the presentation, the facilitator guide, if you want to know what I should have said, and the actual playbook itself versus the presentation. Those are all available to you. But if I go into this playbook, download this bad boy here. And we go back one. Download this guy. So give PowerPoint presentation today. When you're telling it, I upload a presentation, I gave this today. I want to do a class next week that goes deeper than what I did today. Put in the information from Millionaire Real Estate Agent, One Thing, and Shift books, as well as the AI playbook above. Give me the first section of the presentation for review before proceeding. Let's see what happens. So essentially, I've got 4 slides here. Welcome back, and reset the big why, revisit last Key takeaway is AI replacing agents is busy work. MRA, think like a million, earn a million, net a million, receive a million, is leverage. Tie in the one thing, what's the one thing AI could do for your business that would make everything easier? Or else are unnecessary, frameless shift and shifting markets, agent who adapts their skills and systems fastest, capture the opportunities, AI is part of that shift. Go into deep dive, MREA, successful model, not a mystery. It's pulling stuff from MREA. It's pulling things from Shift. It's pulling them from that. It's going back to the presentation I gave today and pulling all of that together in one shot. And that was with a really crappy prompt I just did here in front of you. So if instead of this, you said anything to do with your business, right now, my biggest challenge is creating leads. I have 4 open houses this weekend because I'm crazy like Will. What should I do? Advise me as a high-level real estate agent. What are the most important steps I need to take? You think it's gonna sell us? Is it gonna give us actual, like, true value? What can I do with these things? All of it, and I can have it continue going on there, but let's see. Wow, get rid of that caps lock, brother, that's terrible. So pre-event, knocker flyer, the 20 nearest neighbors, a simple invite, we'll only open house this weekend. If you're not looking to move, stop by for a quick tour, Smacks neighborhood market. Fairly straightforward. What's your home workstation? Immediately, I have never thought of this. I like that already. Instead of asking you to sign in, I'm asking you what's your homework, right? Sign up, shoot your QR code, link to your free home valuation. And about half the people stop by open houses or neighbors curious about the market. Would you like me to run a quick equity report on your home? That's pretty straightforward, pretty cool. Follow up with an equity email, CMA offer, right? And then the open house giveaway fund, we'll have a fun giveaway, tie your personal. I reply, woohoo, it knows. Treasure chest gift card raffle, name, email, phone number, bonus entry for following my page, announce winner by Monday after the weekend, give you a natural excuse to follow up with every entrant. Thanks for stopping by, the winner, and by the way, how's your home search process going? AI-powered advantage, convert attendees into nurturable clients. Can I text you full details, photos, and list of similar homes hitting the market? That's nice. After the event, generate personalized follow-up messages based on what you like today. Here are 3 similar homes in the area. Would you like to set up a prior showing? Put them short nurture drip. These from strong personal follow-ups, right? Between these 3, you'll pull on neighbors, attendees, follow-up. I can go further than this. I can ask it to do more. This is just the simple framework, and it took me 10 seconds. It took me longer to type it than it did for it to answer me. That's why you want to pay and use the voice thing. I'm not big on the voice thing because I feel like I talk funny, but hey, I'm up here. So this is how it can help us in our business. And we have so many things. One of the wonderful things that we work on in our leadership meetings all the time is getting rid of sacred cows. Things that we've done all the way, always done. This is the way we do it. We're super comfortable with this way, and it has worked. Well, here's the cool thing. You can put in here what you've done and worked and say, build on that strategy because I like doing this because it's about me and I feel good with this. So, and this should fit with almost every realtor I know. I hate making calls. Won't do it. Be honest with yourself. I mean, first thing in shift is get real, get right, right? I don't like making calls. I don't want to do it. It always going through and saying, what can I do if that's not the way I'm going to run my business? So continue to build your business based on who you're going to be. Now again, like we talked about, you don't have to make calls to be successful. Just know that somebody else is making calls. And they might be successful in the place you weren't because you made that choice. It's always a choice. Grab some flyers, keep casual, add a QR code. Here's a Chromosworth, scan here for instant equity. Treasure chest pirate giveaway, yay! NA power, text, email. Takes calls right out, because I don't make them anyway. I'm not that kind of guy. And I can do that with anything I want. If I instead go back and say what I really like to do is do more pirate stuff, guess what it's going to do? More pirate stuff. I can customize it to be my assistant, to deliver it in the way that I want to. And I can have it address those sacred cows. I can literally go in and say, one of my biggest challenges is I like that the very first thing that it gives, this example, is when we talk about the Patrick Showers method. I call it Patrick Showers method because he introduced me to the idea, but basically going into Facebook, seeing Krista the other day was at the beach and saying, hey Krista, I saw you at the beach yesterday, what'd you think of that? That's the phone call. Why would I do that? I mean, she already posted about it. Well, here's the thing, you put it in Facebook because you wanted people to talk to you about it. That's why you put it there. Hey, Krista, I saw a great picture of your kid. How are they doing today? Right. I mean, they put it there because they want to talk about it. You could even be really crazy. She says, I am at the beach in Punta Cana. I don't know where that is. Hey, what beach are you at, Krista? You know what she's going to say? Punta Cana. She wants to talk about it. It says right there, but she wants to talk about it. So it really makes that super easy if I make that call. Because then I'm in that place. And then how many of y'all have heard this? Just, do you or anybody you know want to buy or sell real estate today? I'm a humorous guy. I like to have a little bit of fun. And I always, when I talk to people like that, and potentially I say, now listen, you knew this was coming. It's the end of our phone call. And I know that if you were looking to buy or sell real estate, you would have already contacted me because that's who you are. But on the off chance you know somebody else, would you mind putting this in the three-way text? No big deal, right? Simple throwaway line. It's not painful, it's not hurtful. Just get it done, get it out of the way. Because they of course would have called. Replace calls with lead letters, right? If you truly hate calls, these are the things you can do to get your business. And time block the no pressure calls. Time block it. We all know that's the answer. I have to make calls for 15 minutes, I can make calls for 15 minutes. I can do it for 15 minutes. Just gonna do it for 15 minutes. That's it. Walk away. 15 minutes. All I'm gonna do is ask them a few questions. Call the warmest, friendliest people, right? That makes sense. Call them out. Start calling off with easy. Don't call them. She's gonna talk for more than 15 minutes. She's terrible. But you go through and it's still remembering that I want to use one thing. And it's going to talk about that. It's going to pull up the fact that I don't need to be good at calls. I literally told it I hate it. It's not going to try and batter me over the head and tell me if I want to get better at it, here's how you do it. But you don't need to love them. But I do need a lead gen lever that I will use consistently. And that's straight out MRD, right? And I can ask it, no call lead gen play. Create it for me. And I can ask it to work on it. I can continue to refine it. And I do the same thing with the things that I already do. The more information I give it, the more it's just going to analyze. And it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be mean. It doesn't care. It's just going to give you the information. And that's why it's such a valuable tool. Any questions you guys have, so I can let you guys enjoy the rest of your day and have fun? Or what have you? Jenny, any questions? Cover all the stuff? Krista?
All the stuff, thank you.
All the things? Kelly? You know, if you have a question, I'm just gonna put it in there anyway, so go ahead. How about you guys?
This is good.
Team Cedar Haven?
Do you use Gemini much? Did you say no?
I do not use Gemini much. I use ChatGPT largely because it is account tied, and I started using it long before I had access to Gemini, and I don't want to give up what I've already built.
Yeah.
But if I did, and I wanted to transfer into Gemini, because there are some real advantages, I could take what I think of as key chats, copy them, and upload them to Gemini, and it would have that basis.
Yeah.
Could
And,
you just say, access my ChatGPT account and
no, not quite.
magically know things?
Not quite. But I can here have it access my Google Drive. And it can pull stuff out of there.
Because you had mentioned linkage to Google Slides and Docs, and I'm just
Yep.
wondering, like, would Gemini create a Google Slides presentation if you asked it to?
Absolutely. It takes a long time. It will take a while. So I'm not gonna run that right now, but it will absolutely build PowerPoint or Google Slides.
Oh, ChatGPT will too?
Yeah.
Oh. And then you just download it?
Krista, any questions for you?
A lot, but they're not specific. I'm just trying to gather this whole concept.
So, one thing
I've never done it, so.
I wanna kind of finish out, close out with the idea, Melissa, bless her, went through this whole thing at Mega Agent Camp, and she said, we need to get an expert in here to teach this every month. Thought, yes, that would be super valuable. That would be really cool. But Jamie goes, what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. First off, agents don't have that much time, but more importantly, we just need to teach them to go back and say, give me the next class, dummy, and it'll do it. I don't need an expert, it's the expert. It knows better than me what's coming up. And if I go in here and say, maybe you change your ChatGPT's name to dummy, because I think that's a great name for it. Listen, dummy. But here's that thing, if I go back to here, this is its, and it actually asks here to your question, would you like me to make this to match your PowerPoint flow? So I could literally, it will take the PowerPoint I put in there and make it look the same. We use that style to make the PowerPoint. Create a 10-day client outreach program in social media to connect with the children of parents who might be having difficulty making a downsizing decision. Okay, so any one of these things that I go to, the first one, post idea, short video or text graphic about how parents feel overwhelmed by the thought of moving after 20, 30 years to the same home. Is that a real thing, right? And Krista, when we had this conversation before, or maybe it was Steve, said, look, if I put that on Instagram, mom and dad aren't gonna see it because they don't use Instagram. That's a reasonable point, so who did I aim this at? Their kids, who are actually dealing with the problem, right? So if this sounds like your parents, you're not alone. I talk to families about this every week. That's the call to action. Call me. I talk about this all the time, right? All right, but that's cool, but what am I supposed to say? All right, what am I supposed to say? Build me a script for day one, my man. Build me a script for day one. And it literally says, you want me to write out captions for all 10 days? Or do you prefer I can write them as templates where you can plug in personal stories and local stats? What do you think? So we've got two things, right? First one is a script, literally. So you're saying to yourself, I've got a script, but where am I gonna put that? If I'm gonna do this video and I'm gonna record myself, where do I put that script so I'm not like looking down all the time? Put it on a piece of paper and hold the paper behind the phone. Paper, phone, right here. I just read right here and I'm looking like I'm looking at the phone. Words here, phone here. I'm winning the game, right? And I literally just say all these words. Or I could do this caption here. You want that in the pirate style? You want it in a pirate style? Darn right. It literally asked me if I wanted advice. Let's do it. Same thing, pirate style. This is how you make this a part of your business so you stop spending all the time on the other parts and get to focusing on the parts that you really want to do, right? Make it fun, don't be afraid. But you do have to work with it, you have to try, you have to practice, you put things in there, it learns about you, it gets better, you get better, it gets better, you get better. It's like a bike. You fell down the first couple of times and you're still living and you still know how to ride a bike even though you haven't 20 years later. Just talk to it. It's a machine. And 20 years from now, it'll probably be changing your diaper, you know. So that's great.
Thanks.
Say please, so it still likes you. Oh my. Downsizing feels like battling a kraken. It doesn't have to. Yarr. It'd be fun. One of the things we'll be launching in the next couple of weeks is a 66-day challenge with, hey, here's your AI challenge of the day. You'll see it on Facebook. Here's your AI challenge of the day. Guess how I'm gonna come up with a 66-day challenge? You're darn right. It's gonna tell me how to challenge you to do the things. But I think each week we'll kind of go through the responses and we'll say, hey, that's the best response. Probably give out some kind of fun prize because that's super fun. And we'll continue with all of that kind of thing because in the end, this can really help you skip parts of the business that are difficult. And that's what it's designed to do. What are the parts I don't like? Let's offboard those. It's leverage. Listings, leads, leverage. It's leverage. Take stuff off your hands and are paid. And be focused on what you want. Anything else I can give you guys here today? Does that go on for hours? I'm gonna put that thing in here. I really do want to put that, my KPA in here. Let's see what happens. Don't look, there's something scary in my Gmail, I don't know. I mean, that's a mess. Nope, not today.
Thanks, Jason.
You bet, have a good one.
I know, she needs to go start using it.
Not sure, I'm sure Wade has used it, but I'm not.
He's like leaning up to my daughter's.
I will regret not going tomorrow and while we're at
She didn't want to go without
I can't do anything without time.
and help.
No, it's my dad, it was my daughter's 16th birthday yesterday and I saw her at 9:30 and gave her a hug as I went to bed.
Got it.
She's like, do you want a piece of cake? And I was like, I took a bite and I'm like, good night. Like, almost 10 o'clock.
I mean, it is nice she doesn't have unrealistic expectations of you on her birthday.
She's with her best friend, her boyfriend, her best friend's sleeping over, so that was all happening. But she takes her driver's test tomorrow.
Is she a good driver?
I think she is. I did not think she would be. I think she is. Yeah. So we need to do some practicing for that, and she has some stuff tonight that I need for just birthday.
Cool. Okay then.
I know, but I'll see the pictures tomorrow.
Yeah.
Regret this.
And he won't regret
They take a KPA?
You have.
it. We all have.
Did you?
Not everybody has, not everybody has.
I should have you do that.
How's it going?
I didn't.
How are you?
So you uploaded your KPA?
I literally just
And
uploaded
what
my
is
KPA.
it, what's it doing to it?
Well,
You
So-
hit the limit.
yeah, I hit the limit because I don't have the thing. But it'll sit there, and when I come back to it later at the time,
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna say yes. But I reviewed your KPA, and I can now use them as a guide when shaping responses with and for you. Here's a distilled decision or version of of what we learned. Do you want me to save this as your personality guide so I consistently weave it into how I craft responses to your real estate coaching, outreach, and communication projects? Yeah, I do. I want you to talk to me the way that's gonna be the most effective. I absolutely want that. That's frightening. But if you're writing a listing description, right, you put in a house, put in all the information you have about the house, bedrooms, things, size, build, stuff like that. And you say, hey, I want you to tell me who the most likely buyer profile is for this house. Give me that profile. Now that's my target audience. Write a listing description based on my target audience.
Could you, this I don't think would probably be a good idea, but you could upload the single family input form.
Yes, probably. I haven't tried it, but I'd be willing to bet you absolutely could do that.
Or even like sections of it so that it's pulling.
Well, I mean, it just read my KPA
Yeah,
and the whole thing, and it's, yeah. Make suggestions that respect your skepticism and highlight opportunities and possible pitfalls, right? I mean, that's what it took out of my KPA. When writing for you, leaning to your friendly tone, friendly, professional, and a little humorous, wing fitting, but never pushy.
color
Personality assessment, yeah.
I think we can have
But
Karina send it too.
I love the fact that it tells you what it's gonna do. Structured, practical, and clear. So when you give me answers, they should be structured, practical, and clear, because otherwise I'm not gonna dig around with this. Strategic and analytical. I need to be clear on these things. This is what it took from my KPA, read my KPA and said, this is how I'm gonna talk to you in the future. If you're not using this to help you, there's somebody who is. And they're investing more time in it, getting better at it.
Thank you. Are you teaching this next week?
Yes,
Off the rails.
we're going off the rails. We're going way more into stuff like this.
Alright.
That's fun. My husband's training AI staff at his work.
What's that?
My husband does digital accessibility at Target, making sure their websites and everything is accessible. So he's been learning AI stuff and uploading
Whatever, okay.
To get Jason's name in there.
where he has to have it really accessible and stuff. So he's kind of leading the charge of like, okay, we need to be on. But he has
So
people on
Jason
his
uses
team that
that
use it for
just so
their
you're
emails
aware.
because
Yeah.
they
know.
struggle with their, have learning disabilities, and so they use it,
I mean, it's a leveling of the
I
playing
think
field.
it'd be neat that you
If,
did, so I'm
if we
okay.
allow it
It
to
shows you that.
teach people who need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
And,
And then we need to.
you know, stuff like this just makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going another room.
Stay here. Or you could. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay,
I haven't decided yet.
okay, okay.
Thanks, Jason.
You bet, thank you.
Yeah, let's
Hey,
put all
I
of
get a chance to
these.
do on fantastic yesterday, really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. It was fun to be a part of, so.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Krista was here yesterday, and Caitlin was also, and Riley was hanging out in the back. Your message couldn't have been more.
And then it will
I think it'll make a big
fix all
difference.
this.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, we have to take out. Jason, why did you let her get an apple?
She chose it before I could,
Yeah,
so
you can.
I don't get those options.
Okay. No one said yes to that. Okay, and then if, so this is now edit Jason. So Jason's royalty company, because he hasn't capped yet. And go up here and hit 0 again. And then he does $10, is that right? I think so.
What do I have on that? Oh, I see.
Okay, you are 0, okay, you're good.